Welcome, folks. I am Jaby Koay, joined by Jackie ZENDER. We're gonna look at the kitchen. I like saying ZENDER. It just sounds like Xanadu. You know, from you never saw that movie?
No.
Oh, Rosebud.
Okay.
Citizen Kane.
Oh.
Anyway, The Kitchen. You're too young for that. The Kitchen, trailer number 1. With Melissa McCarthy. Let's check this out. It's got 2.1 thousand upvotes, 291 down. In terms of like the up to down ratio, it's a significant amount of downvotes, but it's still like majority of people are appreciating this, and I hope we do too. Let's check this out.
Times change. You do what you gotta do. For kids.
Most employers don't want mothers. It's a competitive market.
You don't know me.
For money, you survive.
Now might be the time.
For what?
For you.
Our husbands have 24 months left on their sentences.
Sorry, baby.
This is the Irish mob, organized crime.
We're gonna take care of you. You girls are gonna be just fine.
We got no money.
Can't even make the rent with what they gave me last night.
They didn't want me in the family in the first place.
40 years we pay protection and we don't get nothing for it. They have been telling us forever that we are never going to do anything but have babies. A bunch of men that have forgotten what family means.
So we remind them.
You look pretty, Mama.
Pretty doesn't matter. It's just a tool women use.
For what?
Anything we want.
What do you want?
We are gonna have crews everywhere.
I didn't realize we were getting into a serious trailer. I thought this was gonna be a comedy with Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, this is a bit surprising.
Told you can't go around working for a bunch of women. You are not smarter than me. I will wipe you off the face of the earth.
I
God.
don't want you to do it. I want you to teach me how to do it.
Just to be clear, now we run this neighborhood.
Step off my business.
Baby, it's my business now.
I'm gonna swallow this entire city. You go to war, there's no coming back.
Alfonso Coretti wants to talk.
If we go to Brooklyn, we're dead. What do you wear to something like that? You get dressed up?
You kidding?
What?
Okay.
My God, I lost count again.
That's a very interesting trailer. I mean, it just threw me because of Melissa McCarthy, and so
Right.
you keep waiting for the other shoe to drop where you're like, okay, so when's the joke? So when's the ha-has? When are we gonna chuckle? And it's like, no, this is full-blown serious. Yeah, we're not messing around until the very end. Where I mean, it's Melissa McCarthy. You gotta have a joke in there somewhere. Yeah, but I like the way she's playing it because I'm used to seeing her as this super goofy, eccentric kind of character all the time. And here it's like, she had to bring it way down. And I would imagine there's this sort of Robin Williams effect where, you know, Robin Williams, when he did like 1 Hour Photo, for instance, I just watched his documentary, I think it was on HBO or something. He had this thing where he was in character and he did it very serious and all that stuff. But as soon as they said cut, he had to make jokes because it was just in him to be
just
goofy.
Him.
Yeah.
That's his demeanor.
Exactly. And I'd imagine Melissa McCarthy's similar. I mean, I would imagine a lot of comedians like of her disposition are similar where they constantly are trying to, you know, make wisecracks and whatnot. I'm guessing that on set, it was one of those things where every time they yelled cut, they were like having, you know, they were goofing off and whatnot. But she had to like really rein it in and dial it in, that serious, you know, performance.
I like seeing her have a different range, though. It was kind of nice to see that she is so much more diverse. I mean, I'm actually really interested in seeing this. I like mob movies.
Okay. You actually sound like you would be in a mob movie.
Right, maybe.
I like mob
my
movies.
raspy voice.
Yeah.
Get down! Okay.
I could see you in like a Goodfellas remake as like the new, what's her name, who played, what's his name's wife. All these what's his name and who's his what's its. I'm not doing a very good job here. Ray Liotta's wife in Goodfellas, the Jewish wife. What's her?
I haven't seen it. I've seen Boondock Saints, but I have not seen the one you're talking about.
Killing me here.
I know. I'm
Killing
sorry.
me. You're missing out. There's classics. You gotta. Okay, so this is
You can
obviously.
write me a list of the classics I need to see.
Yeah. I got the sense of inspiration from Scorsese in here for sure. I mean, just that era, there were so many crime drama films from that era made by the likes of Scorsese and a number of other directors, but Scorsese is the one that's most prevalent in my mind, and that's just a byproduct of the fact that my dad was a big Scorsese fan, and so I became a big Scorsese fan. In fact, he's my favorite director. Mean Streets is a big one that he did. It's like super raw. This is not raw, but this feels like it's taking some inspiration from Mean Streets for sure, and just Scorsese in general. In terms of the tone more than the style. The style feels, for lack of a better word, it feels simple. Like it doesn't seem like interesting camera work. It's more about the characters and what's going on screen with them. I didn't see a lot of like cinematic movement or anything of that nature.
Right.
It was more just about the drama more than anything else, and just letting that be, you know.
And there's also the trend of strong, powerful female roles, you know, so they're clearly embracing on that as well, and I think it's great. You know, women haven't really been in mafias and things like that, so then take this role and make a story out of it. I think it's gonna be fun.
Well, we did have something called Widows recently,
Okay,
which
I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah.
I'm way behind.
I mean, you're not the only one. That was a film that was centered around 4 women who were all widows of men who were in like this not a mafia, but like a crew of some kind. It had that same kind of feel, tone, environment, but this is set in the 70s, whereas that is set more modern day. So you're right, insofar as like we haven't really had a whole lot of films set in that era, 60s, 70s, gangster mafia era, that's more focused on the women. And the women taking charge. As a woman, how do you feel about this? Is it quite nice that you getting representation and all that stuff?
Yeah,
SJW.
of course. I love it. I love seeing strong, powerful female roles. I think it's great. You know, men have had their time, and it's good to bring a woman role out every now and then. Especially in badass movies like this. You know?
Right.
Like, you want to see some girls, like, kick butt. They look like they're going hard.
Right. I agree that we need representation. I'm not against that at all. My only concern with it, and this is kind of going into a different direction, is when it feels like virtue signaling, and I'm not getting that sense here, which is what's making me happy. I hate virtue signaling where it feels like it's going out of its way
to make a
to make the playing field even, so that everyone has the fair shot.
No, they just took a legit story of like, this was the problem, this is the solution. You know what I mean?
Right.
They just, I think it's gonna be done really well.
Yeah, you get a trophy, we all get a trophy. We get a trophy for trying. Everyone gets a shot. You know. That's how life works.
Not everyone can be in first place.
Well, that's exactly it. Is that I always want the best story possible, the best person for the job. I don't care if you got a penis or a vagina. I just care about the characters and what they're going through personally. You know what I'm saying? Like, I care more just about people. I'm not looking at the sex of the individual as much. If that makes any kind of sense. So, but that being said, I recognize the disparity in roles of men to women. I guess it's just me, but like I grew up focused on the strong female characters. I guess a bit more.
Do you have a lot of sisters?
No, I have one sister, but like.
She must be tough.
She's my younger sister, so she's definitely tough because of me. She had to put up with my ass
for her
whole life. But what I'm saying is like I've noticed the strong female characters growing up. So it was a little bit, and my mom is Asian, and so she's a strong female role model. For me, it was always a little bit weird when people go, oh, there's no strong females out there. I'm like, really? I feel like I've always noticed them. That being said, it's not like, we have an abundance of it. It's definitely still in favor of men. What I like about this though is I appreciated Atomic Blonde. Like that was a cool film, right?
That was great.
But the thing about it is, for me, I wish that Charlize Theron put on more muscle mass, right? In order to do the kind of fight scenes she's doing, I'm like,
right.
You need more muscle mass to compete with the guys that you just do.
True.
It's
physics.
If you've ever done Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, you know that muscle mass does play somewhat of a role in that. It's like, no, it's not everything. There is a skill, but it does play some degree of a role, especially when you got guys who are super badass and you're badass.
Right.
Like, it does play a factor. What I'm liking about this in comparison is that they're not trying to make them like these tough in terms of muscle. It's more tough in terms of but exactly. And it's more about manipulative tactics. It's more about them using
their mentality. They're strong-willed. Like they were determined. They were like, we're just housewives. They just see us as the baby makers. But you know what? We're so much more than that. And we're gonna make it our mission to prove it.
Exactly.
And they end up running the town.
Exactly. And so they're being cunning, and I really dig that. Not that I'm opposed to I love female action films. I love them, but I have started to think about the physics of it all. So, as I grew up loving Michelle Yeoh, that's why I'm like, there have been strong female leads my whole life. You don't know who Michelle Yeoh is, right? She's from the Asian cinema, but she's like a super badass female action star. But even her, she used to be a dancer. She's like your framing, and she's like beating up guys who are like 10 times her size and stuff like that, which was like cool as a kid.
It's not the size of the dog, it's the size of the fighter.
Exactly.
Don't make me come at you.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. I don't have no doubt in my mind you can take me out. Now I would stand there.
I do have 2 brothers and a sister. I'm pretty scrappy.
I would stand there and gladly take it. You want to beat me up? Okay, sounds like a good time. All right. Anyways, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Be sure to check out Jackie ZENDER on the social media. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out our other reactions, reviews, short films, and vlogs. I'm Jaby Koay. This is...
I'm Jackie ZENDER.
Peace out.